Hello, I'm JW. Today an item which should not exist but inexplicably does exist, and it's this adapter here which has two holes on the top there, which is one of those fits all and doesn't really fit anything very well, and on the other side we've got two pins which are actually the pins, or very similar to the ones used for a UK plug, but we've only got the line in neutral. And as anybody who lives in the UK should know, all plugs in the UK have three pins, and one main purpose for that is that the sockets have shutters over the line in neutral, and the only way to open those is by using the earth pin of the appropriate plug. So if you just got one of these and try to shove it into a UK socket, it's simply not going to fit in there because the shutters will be in the way. So a rather unexplained item, and of course this also has no fuse in it either, another required thing for UK outlets. So let's have a closer look at this dreadful thing and see if we can see how badly it's made inside. So here's the offending item, and two pins here which are sleeved and certainly are in the general shape and style of the ones for UK plugs. I'd say there's no earth pin here, so you won't be able to fit this into a socket without using some other doubtful means. And on the other side we've got these slot and round type hole things, the usual kind of suspects where you can put sort of bladed things in and round pins and various combinations of. And we've also got notice the slots are actually different sizes, so this is a wide one and this is a narrow one, possibly for the North American or some of those type plugs where they've got a sort of a polarised arrangement. But that's also a fail because voltage in North America is 120, voltage in the UK is 240, so clearly that's not going to work either. Of course this doesn't convert any power anything, it's simply a connector. Now here's a normal UK plug, and you can see the pins there at the bottom. These are sleeved in white, but principle's the same. And we can see the pins of this thing are pretty near the size of that. They're not quite the right size, but that's often the case with these dubious adapters. Length is about right, the width is fractionally under. So obviously this is intended for use with a UK type socket, and you're supposed to somehow shove that in, possibly getting a screwdriver and shoving it into the earth hole and then sort of manoeuvring this into the other two parts there, and then you can plug in some other dubious device. But problem here is there's no fuse in this thing. UK plugs like this one, as we'll see inside, will contain a fuse. This one has a 5 amp fuse inside, and this is necessary because most circuits that UK sockets are attached to are on 32 amp circuits. Pretty obviously you don't want to be plugging in some 6 amp or lower thing there, because the flex of course could be damaged in the event of some fault occurring with it. But anyway, that's the normal situation, and say all UK plugs have a fuse in of some rating, anywhere between 1 and 13 amps, although 3 and 13 are the most common. So let's open this and see what junk can be found inside. Obviously there's not going to be much inside, usually it's a rather small size, so a single screw fixing the thing together, and we can open it. So plastic shell there, nothing doing there. And all we've got then are these rather nasty looking prongs, which again are these sort of accept everything and doesn't fit anything particularly well either. So there we have it, a rather unsafe device, and certainly not one that's recommended for use anywhere, especially not with UK outlets. Now these are some sort of springy metal there, just see on the magnet there, and yes, as expected of course they're made of some kind of steel, so as is the screw. So fairly obviously they're not the proper brass or phosphor bronze or whatever else these things are generally made of, and obviously they bend extremely easily there. Load of old junk, and we've got more screws here. Let's just undo that as well, just to see what kind of disasters we've actually got going on here. So plastic housing there with the hole in the middle. The end piece just has a threaded hole in it, and then the actual conductor is this screw which just goes through the flimsy metal, which as you can see is basically already fatigued and fell off, and just screws into the tip of the actual plug there. Is the tip made of brass? Well, no, not really. It's slightly attracted to the magnet, so it's certainly not solid brass, but it's got some kind of mess in there, probably recycled washing machines or something like that. So there we have it, a fairly useless device, and even to use it you're going to have to basically shove a screwdriver in the earth hole and then ram this thing into the other ones. There's no fuse involved, so it's clearly unsafe regardless, and of course it's going to fail in seconds because as you see in these metal tabs fatigue basically after just a couple of bends like that. So why would this thing be manufactured Why does it exist, and what's actually the point of it, given that you can already get those dreadful and unsafe 3-pin jobs? Is this really that much cheaper to manufacture, and would anyone really care? So that's pretty much it for this time. A mystery device that shouldn't exist. But until next time, thanks for watching.